Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? SteelTwins coming back at you with part 2 of episode 1 of the SteelTwins podcast. The Pittsburgh Steelers in a crazy, unbelievable, and unforgettable matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals as we prevail from Cincinnati.
Somehow, some way.
With a win. We are 1-0 to start the season.
I'm still trying to recover, personally. I haven't
not
recovered.
Not just from the game, but the unfortunate news coming out of the game.
Right, which has really dimmed down this dub here.
Like I'm happy we got the win.
Yeah,
I'm ecstatic we got the win, but at what cost?
At what cost? I mean, as Thanos would say, everything.
As Thanos would say, everything, and that everything is most importantly, T.J. Watt.
T.J. Watt. There is major fear, which I'll pull up right here, major fear that T.J. Watt tore his pec and he is scheduled to undergo scans Monday to confirm the diagnosis.
Now that's the Steelers believing that he has suffered torn pec muscle, to which T.J. Watt even believes himself right here.
Now you guys may have seen this live during the game. We noticed he walked out and was grabbing something, which was clearly his pec. Now, let's take a look at this video here. If you read his lips, if you read his words, it says, "I tore my pec." He says it a couple times. Right there.
You can just see it on his face. It's like he knows. He knows. And listen, like T.J. Watt, he's a man that has endured all sorts of injuries, all sorts of pain, but they've been minor in the past. This is his first major serious injury right here.
Right. This would suck if it is indeed a torn pec, which would, best case scenario, he's out the majority of the year. He'd be back around late December. That's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario is he's out for the year. We won't see him till next year.
Yes.
That is if it is a torn pec. Depends. It could just be a sprain. It could be nothing, honestly, but I doubt it is nothing. That's the hope.
I mean, if T.J. Watt's saying that he tore his pec, I think we all, I think that's enough confirmation right there, if you ask me.
Right.
If Watt's saying it, then I think that's unfortunately the case. Fingers not, it's not. Prayers, it is not.
Oh.
I hope to God it is not severe, but that's what I'm anticipating tomorrow when the news does come out.
Right, and of course, whatever the news is, we'll have an update out on the channel ASAP, but we're hoping and praying it is not as serious as we think it is. We're hoping and praying it's not what the Steelers believe it is, which that is a potential torn pec. We hope that's not the case. And if it is, that sucks, and we just lost not only our best defensive player, our best player in general.
On the team.
One of the best players in the NFL right now, arguably the best defensive player in all of football. The reigning defending defensive player of the year, and we could lose him after week 1. That is incredibly devastating.
That is a major loss on the team. Not just the defense, the team in general.
And I would say that the defense is going to take a major hit because without TJ, this defense isn't as impactful, which we saw for the majority of today versus the Bengals. Defense came to play. They legit chose violence when they woke up today. They did.
It's that black Air Force energy that Tomlin pretty much, gave them.
But if he is out for the year, or at least the majority of the year, that's a big hit. And thankfully, the Steelers made moves at edge and trading for Malik Reed from the Broncos and bringing back Jameer Jones. But those two combined don't hold a candle to what T.J. Watt can do. We got to hope and pray and see what the diagnosis is and then go from there. But I just hope it's not severe. I hope it's not what we think it is because that would absolutely suck. That he's not the only one that got injured today, man. There was injuries from both teams, but more significantly the Steelers because Levi Wallace first got hurt, then Mason Cole, our center, then Najee. Apparently he's walking around with a boot on his foot, but I'm hearing it's not as severe. We'll see how serious his is and what his participation in practice is. Same thing with Cam Hayward and DeMarvin Leal. And all these guys, really. But the biggest name on that list is T.J. Watt. But there are starters on that list. Every single guy I listed outside of Leal are starters.
Yeah.
Significant starters, as a matter of fact. Guys actually showed great significance, great impact today.
Yeah. And it just goes to show, man, the Steelers have no luck when it comes to injuries.
No.
We've stated several times, if, and it's a big if the players can remain healthy for the majority of the season, this team, especially this defense, can be unstoppable. But go figure. Just the first game into the season, we are sustaining all these sorts of injuries.
All these injuries. And
now, what else is there to come? There's bound to be more injuries to come. Fingers crossed, but I think it's inevitable.
Well, it's week one. It's just week one, and we're suffering all these injuries already. It's been one of the main factors of why we've been so rough the past couple of years, especially on the defensive side of the ball, was all the injuries we suffered last year. And now here we are losing, maybe, fingers crossed it's not, but potentially our best player on the team. And no matter what you do to try to replace Watt, you just can't. He's irreplaceable.
Now, I imagine with if it's confirmed about Watt's torn pec injury, I would assume Highsmith takes the role as number one. The new Steeler, Malik Reed, would have to fill in at number two.
And then they would obviously have to make a move at edge for depth purposes. But
yes.
That is what would come about it then if it is worst-case scenario. But we'll see. We could really could use a break right now when it comes to injuries. It's only week one. We're already suffering some serious injuries to some serious names.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what we needed. That is the Steelers-Bengals rivalry, though. We weren't the only team that suffered a lot of injuries today.
Now, the Bengals got sustained with a boatload of injuries as well.
I know Mixon left the game. Higgins left the game. Tyler Boyd left the game. I mean, there are injuries everywhere.
Yeah.
That's Steelers-Bengals rivalry, man.
That's AFC North football right there.
It is.
It's physical. It's brutal. People are going to get hurt.
But we saw a lot of AFC North football today when it came to this game because we were up 17-3 after an incredible first half from the defense. I mean, immediately, the first play, a Hayward sack. Second play, a pick six from Minkah Fitzpatrick. And then that followed with two more interceptions in the first half from, I believe it was Watt and I want to say Sutton.
Yeah.
And then we got one more pick in the fourth quarter from Witherspoon. So that's 4 picks we got off of Joe Burrow today.
4 interceptions.
Minkah with the pick six, then Watt, then Sutton, then Witherspoon. And then we got 6 sacks.
3 of them came from Alex Highsmith. He got 3 sacks in this game.
Yes.
A breakout performance for Alex Highsmith in this one.
3 sacks from Alex Highsmith. One of them was from TJ. Another was one was apparently credited to Robert Spillane.
Also, that's 7 sacks then.
I must have missed that. That is 7 sacks.
So, I mean, dude, that goes to show, yes, losing Watt's going to suck, but our pass rush is still dominant.
Right, because, when Watt wasn't really getting to the quarterback, he was still making plays with that interception, with passes defended, and, doing what Watt can do everything.
Yeah.
He's a do-it-all defender. That's why if it is serious, that's even a bigger loss because, this is a guy that does everything at a high level.
Yeah. But hell, even our front seven is still loaded with a lot of talent. We got 7 sacks on this Bengals offensive line that is much more improved compared to last year.
Right.
They signed 3 offensive linemen to boost their O-line, and we got 7 sacks on them.
And that led to a 17-3 halftime where Minkah got the pick, and then thanks to the defense and their turnovers, it actually gave the offense some time and some good field position to score 10 first-half points for the offense. However, when we mentioned it in the live stream we did with Still Sermon, shout out to him. It was a great live stream.
Yep.
Crazy stuff happened, man. We said that the only reason why the offense has points on the board right now is because of the defense, because of the good field position they gave them. And when the offense was asked to drive down the field by themselves and get points by themselves, they couldn't. It was 3 and out, poor play calling, poor throws by Mitch. It was a collective mess from the offense. It was the same thing we've seen week in and week out from the past 3 years.
Yes.
And it's crazy because in the past we're like, oh, maybe it's Fichtner's fault, right? Let's get Canada in there. And then we saw the same thing. We're like, oh, maybe it's Ben's fault. Maybe he's handcuffing this offense because of his old age. Maybe he's the one calling the plays, this and that, right? And now here we are with Mitch at quarterback, a young, fresh quarterback, someone that's hungry for a second chance, right? Same offense. We got a little fancy. We got a little bit of a spark with a little fun trick plays. We got a nice couple reverse end arounds to Claypool, a little too often.
Yeah.
But some of them succeeded. It was a nice touchdown. The only touchdown the Steelers offense actually got, which was a receiving touchdown to Najee Harris, where we went eye for him at the goal line. Nice little play fake to Derek Watt and found Najee wide open.
Yeah, so some of those creative plays turned out to be successful, but
the majority of the time it was 3 and out, poor play calling, poor player rotation. Why were we seeing Derek Watt as the 3rd down running back 3 times in this game? I don't understand
Like
that.
the first half of the offense, the play calling wasn't too bad, but then the second half came and it was bad.
Well, this team, to pretty much put it simply in the second half, this entire team, I'm not putting the blame on one specific person, but the entire team got complacent. They got very conservative. And that's, the Steelers' way sometimes is you've seen it the past couple years where they have a very decent lead, a 2-score lead, for example, today, opening the second half, and they allow the Bengals to come back.
It's like the first half, man, they have their foot on the gas pedal. And then second half comes, they literally let it go.
They do. I don't understand it. They're never aggressive heading into the second half.
They're never consistent.
Or when they or maybe the first half will be very poor and then the second half they'll wake up. There's never 60 full minutes of football when it comes to the Steelers. There's not. If we're lucky, we get a full half of Steelers football. We can never have a full-fledged 60 minutes of aggressive Steelers football. Didn't see that from the team today. We did not. And I'm not really blaming much on the defense because with what the offense did and what they've been doing the last 3 years, there's only so long the defense can hold on until they get gassed, until they get tired.
There's only so much that the defense can do. Like, they're not going to be unstoppable every single time they're on the field.
Right.
It's not possible. The offense, man, it's no different compared to previous years, in my honest opinion.
No.
I saw nothing different. I saw the same plays. I saw the Steelers offense being extremely conservative.
Right. And we knew that this offense was going to have a slow start because it's the Steelers offense. What do you expect? But maybe, and again, maybe this is our fault for having a little better expectations, a little bit. Maybe we have to wait a little more. Maybe we're trying to see all these guys merge together. But how long can I go with that excuse if we keep seeing this week in and week out heading into the next coming weeks?
Yeah.
I can only go with that excuse for so long. So I'm hoping maybe the offense is just warming up, and then we'll see the offense kind of expand the ball around a little bit and open the playbook a little more. We couldn't get a run game going today, that's for sure.
No, we could not. Claypool was the leading rusher with 6 carries for 36 yards.
Claypool, 6 carries. That goes to show you how many times we ran the same fucking play, swear jar, with Claypool. How many end arounds and jet sweeps are we running with Claypool?
Too many.
6 times to a wide receiver? Like, it just goes to show you it's constant same plays.
They did it almost every offensive
and look,
drive.
I know it's week 1. Say I'm overreacting, whatever. I've seen the same song and dance the last 3 years. That's why I'm a little frustrated right now.
Dude,
it's the same shit.
We saw it 2 years ago in Claypool's rookie year. We saw Claypool doing this stuff. We saw Juju doing this stuff. We saw Ray McLeod do this stuff. And they're still doing it. And the majority of the time, it doesn't work.
No. It's too repetitive, and it's easy for defenses to pick up on. And at some point, they're going to pick up on it immediately, and the offense is going to be non-existent like the last 3 years. So we got to start mixing some things up. We can't be running the same plays 4 or 5 times every 2 drives.
And I don't get how you used a first-round pick on Najee Harris last year, and you're not running the ball with him.
Right.
Like in this game, he only carried the ball 10 times for 23 yards.
Right.
We limit him a lot. Now, that could be granted due to the injury that he sustained in training camp, although he seems fine to me. He seemed fine to me coming into this game. He came out with an injury. Fingers crossed his is not severe. But I just don't get why they constantly do the same plays.
It's rinse and repeat with this offense. So with this offense, it's not really surprising to any of us, but I think with a young, fresh quarterback, we expected a playbook to be a little bit more open.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting, something new, something different. This is the same thing when Ben was QB.
And again, maybe we have to wait a little longer for this entire new, fresh offense to merge together, to groom, to grow.
That could be the case. Yes, you're right.
But again, if we keep seeing the same thing week in and week out, how much longer am I going to be able to use that excuse?
And didn't we use that same excuse last year as well? If you think about it,
it's kind of hard to because we had Ben at quarterback. We were limited. That's why.
But seeing what we saw in this game, there's no difference.
That's what. That's the complaint I'm having now. Is we have a young quarterback that can air the ball out. And granted, some of his throws were way off today. Mitch had a pretty rough game to start.
Listen, getting on Trubisky and how he performed being the quarterback 1 for the Steelers, he wasn't horrible, but he wasn't great.
No. He was mid.
He was mid.
He was mid.
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 Nothing fancy, Nothing flashy, but nothing terrible. Nothing terrible. But
I will give him this. He did drive us down the field with 56 seconds left in overtime to give Boz the game winner. I'll give him that. There you go. Good for Mitch. Maybe it's going to take a little more time for Mitch to get warmed up, see he was just on the bench a year ago in Buffalo.
Yeah.
And now he's getting the starting reps again. And for those saying sit Trubisky after one game, give it time. You sound like a Browns fan. Start Pickett. Why would you throw Pickett in there yet? I know you want to see Pickett. I want to see Pickett too, but there's a time and place for it. We're not rotating quarterbacks. We're not Trubisky 1 week, Pickett the next, Pickett 1 week, Trubisky the next. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
We're not
sitting a quarterback after 1 week. Trying the next.
We're not doing
the Browns
or the Miami Dolphins.
We're not.
Or the Carolina Panthers.
I do not agree with those comments where they say we got to put in Pickett now or we got to sit Trubisky.
And think about
it.
Think about it. With the injuries that we sustained this game, with Watt and Najee potentially being severe, would you throw Pickett in now? Would you?
I'm not hindering his early progression. Early. Not this early.
Hell, even if Watt and Najee didn't get hurt, I still wouldn't put him in. Because I'm not rushing this guy.
Because you know for a fact Pickett is going to make mistakes early on. We know that. That's inevitable because he's a rookie quarterback. I'm not trying to rush that immediately. I'm trying to.
And there's no need to. There's no need to rush.
And that's why Tomlin said Trubisky, the plan is for him to start all season. Now, I know that's not going to happen. We know that's not going to happen. If you're running with Mitch all year, I don't think that's really a good recipe for success because I don't know how much longer. I don't think Mitch is a full season starter. Right. He's a good fill-in. He's a bridge guy. That's why we brought him in.
Yeah.
There's no rush for Pickett yet when he's your long-term guy. Trubisky did solid, I guess. Decent today.
Yeah.
Not great. Not a great start to his reign in Pittsburgh. Not a great start to Mitchburg. Not whatsoever. But his throws were off, but at the same time, receivers dropped passes. The O-line was pretty poor. There was no run game. The play calling was atrocious. Same thing with the offense, man. There was not really one particular blame on any guy the last 3 years. Same thing now. The offense is one collective mess.
Yes.
Still. And maybe it's going to take more time. But I'm tired of seeing the same things week in and week out. We have a fresh offense, a young guy at quarterback. Let's mix it up a little bit.
Right. Let's
stop running the same end-arounds with Claypool 6 times today.
And you're not going to throw Pickett in.
Who is he, Debo?
You're not going to throw Pickett in with these problems right now.
No.
You're not going to do that. I do anticipate Pickett coming in sometime this season. I'm right here with Dan. I don't expect Mitch to remain the starter all season.
No.
But I'm not throwing Pickett in immediately. I'm not rushing the guy. We can all wait. We can all be patient for Kenny Pickett time.
Right.
But right now, it's Mitch Trubisky time.
Right. And speaking of patience, maybe we just have to be a little bit more patient with this offense. Again, I had zero expectations for this offense going into this game, going into the season, because I don't know what to expect.
It's just so annoying seeing the same stuff, seeing repetitive plays.
I saw that movie last year.
Yes.
I saw that movie 2 years ago.
This is why we're complaining right here. We saw this years ago, and it's still happening, even with a younger quarterback.
And if it's a way for you to edge in this new team to help them gel together, sure. Maybe that's a nice 1-2 week trial. But if we keep seeing this past the first quarter of the season, you're not going far. Especially if Watt is out for the year.
And I hope to God you have some hidden gems in that playbook, Matt Canada. I hope you have something under your sleeve. You got to. You need to.
We saw a little flashiness from the offense today. That touchdown to Najee was a great play call.
Yeah, and Trubisky threw a nice pass to Pat Frymuth and Zach Gentry.
Right.
Big gains right there.
It wasn't all bad, no. It's just the offense, they had a total of 16 offensive points when you count the 3 field goals and the touchdown?
Yes.
That's it. So, I mean, and of course, 7 points from Minka to start the game. There you go. But the offense just, there's nothing different. Not yet. Again, maybe we got to give it more time. It's only week 1, but I'm not going to hold my breath on this offense being too much improved in the next coming weeks because if we're seeing the same thing now, I have no doubt in my mind we won't be seeing the same thing in a couple weeks because it's just what we've seen the last 3 years. So, like, if it's the same movie, it's the same song and dance. If it's rinse and repeat, man, I don't know. I just think this offense just has to start opening up a little bit and start getting a little more creative and a little bit more, I suppose, equal in terms of run-pass calls. And I know you kind of can't do that due to the O-line, and maybe that's what they're waiting for. Maybe they're waiting for the entire O-line to be a little gelled together to improve so they can open the playbook. I don't know. But I feel like as a coach, you have to revolve your offense around the circumstances that you have.
Yeah.
And he's not doing that right now. So
now I would like a little bit more freedom from this offense.
Maybe we got
something.
Maybe we got to give it.
I think ultimately, that's what we're gonna have to do. At least for the next month. I give it that.
Yeah, exactly. I'll look back at this in about week 4, week 5, and if there's not much change from the offense, I'm not gonna have no faith for the rest of the season.
Exactly.
At least not until Pickett comes in, because I think we can for sure expect Pickett to be in at some point this year. What Tomlin said about Mitch starting all year, that's not gonna be the case. If they wanted to do that, he would have remained the number 3. Mason would not have been inactive today. No. Mason would have been the number 2. If their plan was to bench Pickett and have him redshirt his entire rookie year at 24 years old, he would have remained the number 3, which was my initial thought. But seeing how Pickett has already exceeded expectations as a rookie so far in preseason, you can't sit him all year. At some point, he's going to start. But we should not be benching Trubisky after 1 game. No, that's ludicrous. It's week 1. Let's give him time. I don't think he's a full year starter, but let's see what he's got, man. Again, there's not really many expectations going into this year, especially if Watt is out. Yeah. Then expectations are going to be a little farther because, this defense kind of revolves around Watt a little bit. We still have some core guys to trust in. Miles Jack looked good today. The corners are looking solid. Minka did great today.
Oh, dude, Minka was fantastic today. He is definitely player of the game, in my opinion.
Hayward looked good. Ogunjobi looked good. Alualu was there. I mean, the front seven's still there, but the key to the defense is for it to stay healthy, but we're already suffering blows in week 1. Fingers crossed it's not as severe as we want for TJ Watt, but, you never know. We'll find out tomorrow, but I don't know. Maybe he's going to pull a Cody Rhodes from Hell in a Cell versus Seth Rollins.
I mean, I'll say this.
Back in Heinz Field next week.
These Watts, man. JJ, TJ, I don't know what they put in.
I don't know what they put in the Wisconsin water, but they're tough.
They are tough. They're a different type of breed, honestly. They are not from this planet.
Right.
Maybe Watt does, come back early. Who knows?
Right.
We'll see. But defense did their part. Offense, you're going to have to do your part.
Yeah, they are. And especially, seeing how the defense is suffering injuries already, and if that's going to be a continued trend down the line, which I think we can anticipate because it's inevitable. You can't avoid injuries in football. You just can't.
It's going to happen.
The offense has to step it up. Maybe we got to give it time. But past week 4, week 5, we see the same stuff. Maybe we do throw in Pickett to mix it up a little bit. Maybe that's when you throw in Pickett, if Tomlin wants to. Depending on how the offense goes or depending on how Mitch does. We'll see. Let's give Mitch more time, folks. Give him more time. But we'll see. It's only week 1. Maybe we see some improvement next week versus the Patriots in Heinz Field. Yes, I'm still calling it Heinz Field.
Yeah, season opener next week. That's New England Patriots.
Right.
Hey, week 1, we get the win.
Yeah, we do. Not incredibly impressed. Very sloppy second half and overtime.
Yes.
Very sloppy.
But in the end,
we blew a 17-3 lead, let the Bengals come back. Overtime was a mess from both teams. Like, what the hell was that?
It was crazy.
What were we watching?
It was crazy.
It was the craziest roller coaster ride I've ever watched as a Steelers fan. Honestly, maybe not the craziest. At least it's been more crazy since the Chargers-Raiders overtime game last year.
Probably. It's definitely up there. But Steelers get the win 23-20. They pull off the upset. They do exactly what the hell they did last year, except it was even crazier. Sloppy. And they outdid themselves.
Sloppy for sure. 6 sacks, 5 turnovers, 4 of them being interceptions. But you still let them score as time expires and nearly lose the game.
That's why I say offense got to do their part.
Yep. Offense got to open up a little bit, man.
We'll see if they adapt and conquer. We'll see if they adjust. Fingers crossed they do. And fingers crossed that TJ Watt's injury isn't as severe as it is being reported.
We shall see. Tomorrow will determine a lot. It will determine a lot, and honestly, if Watt is done, man, I don't know anymore. I really don't. I already had mid expectations going into the season, but if Watt's out, I don't know anymore. I just don't know. Next man up, right, but
I don't know. Like, we have anchors on that defense, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But he's the main anchor.
he's the guy that runs that whole system.
He's the main anchor that's literally going to stop everything.
Yep.
Hayward and Minka, they're great in their own right. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah, because Minka was everywhere today.
yeah, he was. But, without Watt, those anchors are sliding, man. They're not going to plant down on the bottom.
No.
They're going to be sliding.
Right. I don't know. We'll see.
We will see what happens. We'll see what happens, and
We just got to hope and pray that, it's best case scenario for the Steelers and for Watt.
and we will go from there.
We will go from there. But outside of that is your Steelers versus Bengals Week 1 recap. Defense did as advertised. They exceeded what
They more than exceeded. Holy jeez.
Yeah, they really did. I mean, we kind of trusted the defense going into this game. It's just not like that. Not that immediate.
I didn't anticipate 5 turnovers and 7 sacks.
I just wish the offense was capable enough to actually going down the field on their own instead of having the defense give them their points. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see in the next couple weeks.
Like we said, we'll see if they adapt and get better.
Because it's only Week 1, and Week 1 never determines your entire season.
You're absolutely right on that.
Keep that in mind for every team around the NFL, as it's been a wild Week 1 already. Many upsets, including this one. Very similar to the Bills last year where they upset an AFC elite. Good to start off with a dub. I'm a fan of setting the tone, but very sloppy, but I guess a win is a win. So
I'll take it. I will take it.
Wow. Tony B says, are there any decent outside linebackers sitting there that can be signed? I'd have to search the free agent
I
market.
honestly couldn't tell you. I mean, the one guy that comes off the top of my head, and I mentioned his name before in previous streams, is Takaris McKinley.
Jack McKinley?
That's the only guy that comes off the top of my head. Everybody else, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. As we look at the list right now.
Let's see. D Ford is available.
I forgot all about him.
Not really many names.
And D Ford, he even in himself has injury concerns at the same time.
Yeah, not really many names, man. Not really many names. So
they'll probably work out a couple guys.
We just got to hope and pray that this injury is not too severe for Watt.
Yeah. Is there anything new
Otherwise,
on Twitter?
that would be one hell of a blow to start the year. It's a good dub to have to start the year, but it costs a lot, especially with injuries.
Yep.
So, man, oh, man.
Man, oh, man.
Right. And speaking of injuries, man, Najee, he did walk around with a boot. And apparently I'm hearing he's going to be fine. It's not really severe. We'll see what his participation is in practice all week. See how they evaluate him. But Jalen Warren looked good. So, I mean, I like what I saw from him. Because we saw from Jalen Warren here. Where's his stats at? As you see Jalen Warren's stats here, 3 carries, 7 yards. Not really anything fancy, but what I was most impressed with Jalen Warren was most certainly his protection, his blocking, which we've seen in end arounds and in pass pro. Jalen Warren definitely got some time today, more than I thought he would. So if we have to lean on him for a little bit, I think we trust Warren. We really like Warren. We are truly living in Warren's world. His ball carrying skills definitely worry me just a little bit.
Yes, they are a big concern, but, since training camp, we have liked his progression. He's showcased a lot from preseason and training camp. It's why he's the running back, too, over Benny Snell.
Right.
So if he were to step in some plays or even to start, I do have my full confidence in Jalen Warren. I do.
Right. How about Muse, man? Stepping up already, 75 yards off of 5 receptions. Wow. That's a good start to the season for
It's a great start
Muse.
for him. And he's really coming into his own, and in my honest opinion, a clutch tight end.
Yeah.
A very reliable, a security blanket right there for our quarterback.
Pretty much, which you love to see. And shout out to Pittsburgh Rick because he just became a member of the STN.
Hey, Pittsburgh Rick, appreciate it, man.
Pittsburgh Rick, I appreciate it very much, man.
Huge shout out to you, man.
Huge shout out to you. Obviously, memberships are now open. You can join them. There is a $1.99 subscription and a $4.99 subscription. The $1.99 pretty much gives you access to all the emotes and the channel badges, while the $4.99 gives you everything such as that, as well as early access to videos and a Discord invite link, and also gives you access to one time every month we do a Q&A.
Yes.
So, and which I think that's coming around week 4 or after week 4.
Yeah.
We won't do one after each quarter of the season. So, yeah, you guys can look forward to that and definitely sign up to STN if you feel to do so. So it's always open for you guys to join the STN, man.
Of course.
But outside of that, that's your postgame. That's your postgame, man.
Want to know.
We'll see how they progress and how they do better come next week, as the home opener is versus the Patriots. That should be interesting. They just lost to the Dolphins.
Yes.
So I mean, their start to the season is not good. They lost pretty decently to the Dolphins, as I said, and it seems like Bill Belichick's time in New England is starting to run out.
You think so?
I don't know, man. It's just
You think that time's coming?
Yeah, I don't. He's been the head coach for over 20 years.
I get that.
It doesn't appear to me like he's not as he's not the same Belichick.
I see why you say that, because when you see Belichick, you feel that vibe and everything. Like, when you think of the Patriots, you think of Bill Belichick. You feel that vibe of all the Patriots going to win.
And they
don't seem to have that right now.
There's a lot of history between Pittsburgh and New England, especially when it comes to Tomlin and Belichick. Belichick has outcoached Tomlin a lot, but I don't know if that could happen next week, man. Maybe the Steelers start off 2-0 and get a nice nice win versus the Patriots.
Yeah, because the Patriots are going on the road for the second straight week, because they were on the road for Miami, and they go on the road again to Pittsburgh, to which last time they were there, it was a great game.
Yeah.
It was a great game. It was a memorable moment. Joe Hayden's interception on Tom Brady. Big win.
I'll never forget that game.
That was the last time the Patriots were at Heinz Field. Now we meet them again. This time with Mac Jones.
Mac Jones at quarterback, man. So hopefully we can create another great moment next week. But I want to see some improvement from this team. But first things first is we have to see the update on DJ Watt. And we'll, like I said, go from there.
Yes.
As the entire team will for the season. And Alexander Watson with a $50 super chat says, I'm glad we won, and we will keep grinding. Agreed, man.
Agreed, man. Appreciate the $50.
Wow, $50 from Alexander Watson. That's awesome.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Always the MVP, man. Tony B says, are membership fees once a month? Yes, they are once a month. They are indeed once a month.
Yes.
And if you don't want to be a member of the STN Plus, you can just be a member of the regular STN, which is the SteelTwins Nation, for just $1.99 to get exclusive emotes in the chat, which more will be coming for sure as the season progresses.
As you see right there already in the comments, right, or the live chat right there, the terrible towel emojis.
Yep, from Pittsburgh Rec. As well as if you do become a member of the STN, one of the biggest pluses to that is you get early access to our previews for the game. So normally, I think our schedule for this year is the preview for the game will be up Thursday, unless, of course, we play Thursday, which is coming up in Week 3 versus the Browns.
Yes.
The idea for the days we play Sunday or Monday is our previews will be up Thursday, but we won't have it recorded by Tuesday, Wednesday, and uploaded for STN Plus members on Wednesday, so you guys get early access to that. So that is a little cool little feature you get if you become a member of the STN Plus. Just throwing that out there. Also, follow us on Twitter at SteelTwins. You guys see it in the ticker there. Just want to throw that out there as well, man. Trying to grow on there. Because Twitter is a fun place. It's a blessing and a curse. It is.
Yeah.
But
it has its benefits and negatives, as usual. Social media does in general.
I mean, pretty much. That's where we live in now.
Yep.
Good Lord above. Other than that, man, I think that's our recap.
Yeah. I mean, I can't think of anything else to say. I mean, I think we've gone over, just about everything.
Right.
For the most part.
Right.
I mean, we'll just have to wait and see throughout the week on the update of TJ Watt, on everybody else with their injuries.
Yeah.
And what Tomlin's got to say come Tomlin Tuesday for New England Patriots coming up next week. for week
Steelers
2.
versus New England. The Steelers home opener at Heinz Field. Tomlin versus Belichick again. Is Tomlin going to get out-coached again like history shows, or are the Steelers going to get another dub versus the Pats at home?
Do we get a dub on the home opener?
Do we start 2-0? I'm not sure many people had us starting 2-0, but imagine that. That'd be a good start to the season, man.
That would be a good start.
Imagine that. We hope that's the case. But we'll go from what happens on Monday with Watt's news, because that's the biggest thing coming out of this game. Is the game was wild. Our reactions show it. With Steel Sermon, again, shout out to him. This was wild. The emotions were running high in many factors.
Yep, just back and forth, highly defensive.
Start off crazy with the defense making plays everywhere, from the Hayward sack to Minka's pick to Sutton's pick to Watt's sack and Highsmith breaking out, and then of course we got conservative in the second half, and then
overtime
came around, and then the impossible happened, and hey, like Steel Sermon said, it was on drugs. So
it was on drugs indeed.
It was a fun game. It was a fun game. Sloppy win, but I'll take it. I'll take the dub. Take the dub, and let's get another one in the home opener next week versus New England. So thank you guys for joining us tonight on this post game, and you guys can expect a video at some point tomorrow, depending on whatever update TJ Watt has, whenever that is. Yep. So you guys can definitely check that out, as well as our preview, which will be up again Thursday, and, of course, our weekly predictions, which will be up throughout the week as well before the Thursday night football game. So you guys will look forward to that for channel content, as well as, of course, next Sunday we will be live again for the Pats game. We'll be hosted or will be co-hosted by Steel Sermon. Again, I believe that is the plan, if he is available, which he should be. So if that's the case, you can expect him for a second straight week, which should be another fun stream, knowing it's the Steelers-Patriots rivalry. It's not as heated as it used to be. In fact, there's a little bit more respect and hatred as time has went on, as the wave has settled in that rivalry. But because the Patriots aren't really a threat no more. But after all the chaos they have caused us for all the years in the past, man, still want to smack them in the home opener.
There's still some hatred there.
Yeah. So you guys have a great rest of your night. You guys enjoy Thursday night football. You guys enjoy Sunday night football, and Monday night football tomorrow, and, of course, all the upcoming games this upcoming next week. And if you're new, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Definitely check us out on Spotify, which you guys, if you are listening to the podcast audio platform, you might be listening to us on that now. But other than that, see you guys in the next one.
And like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later.
Peace!